as
Very
everything
good.
happens.
Just so I don't shoot the wrong person, rough description?
You've met the doctor. We all have.
Yeah, we met a few people, and it was always you, Renault, and Pressy kind of in the bulk of it. Me and Babin and Dupois were kind of
yes.
second, we were there, sure, but didn't feel like we were as important. I didn't want to bring it up earlier, but it's nice to be included. This is really be exciting.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream of Chaos. My name is James, and I'm the keeper for this game of Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition. We are playing Reign of Terror, which is a short campaign that is set around the French Revolution. I am here, as I always am, with this fine cast of folks, but before we get them to introduce themselves, I'd like to thank Roll20, Web Captioner, and Sirenscape, tools which we use to improve our game. Let's get the cast to introduce themselves. Dave, do you want to go first?
I absolutely do. G'day, I'm Dave. Up until very, very recently, I was playing Thierry Renault, but things have taken a turn for the worse. He's mad, imprisoned, and destined to be guillotined. So this session, I am playing Michel Beaumont, another soldier in the regiment, still loyal to Hugel and currently awaiting a meeting.
Exactly. Renault is not in a great way at the moment. In fact, none of the previous characters, with the possible exception of Hugel, but really in a larger sense, not Hugel either, are doing great. But we'll jump back to that in more detail when we get to our summary. But first, Art, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, as per usual. Captioning. Hi, I'm Art. I play the renowned Joseph Hugel, who's alive at this point and now has to make decisions, and I don't wanna. I just don't wanna. Anyway, Joseph Hugel. If you stuck around long enough, you now would know at this point that Joseph is actually Martine Hugel, who is Joseph's wife, who is daylighting, moonlighting, all lighting as her own husband for reasons. And just kind of sort of made friends with the head of the secret police, kind of? Maybe? A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of friends, head of secret police, a good person to have on your side, although the head of the secret police was pretty clear that, heads, including his, might be rolling pretty soon. Anyway, last but not least, Jackson, would you like to introduce yourself?
I would love to. Hey, I'm Jackson, and until recently, I was playing Christophe Pressy. But that's okay. He's in a better place now. He's doing better than he used to be. That's for sure.
It'd be hard to find a place that isn't better than Paris during the Terror.
Oh, yikes. By which I mean he did. If you're somehow just tuning in for the grand finale of this excellent campaign, Christophe Pressy died. But I'm ready to bring out Etienne Babin, who is an artilleraire extraordinaire. I'm just making up words that sound French and insulting a huge number of people. But we should have a good time.
All right, fantastic. So, indeed, this is the grand finale. And for those of you just joining us, well, let's give you a recap of what's happened so far. A little more detailed recap, perhaps, than we have done previously. Our investigators, a whole band of them, started so many years ago guarding the catacombs to Paris, when all of a sudden a strange carriage with a stranger man inside went sweeping past. After a long series of investigations into a murder and a bunch of creepy stuff happening at the French court, they figured out that this man, Comte Finalizing, was up to all kind of occult nonsense and managed to lead a raid that captured the man, had him sent to an asylum, and put that chapter to rest. Unfortunately, in the intervening years, one of their former allies who assisted in the raid, Dr. Rigaud, retrieved some ancient tomes from Comte Finalizing's manor, and then took the tomes, studied them, and developed his own plan to bring Paris to its knees with a terrible spell and summon forth the god Azathoth to appear and grant him immortal power. Now, of course, our investigators have rallied to try and stop that. They've gone burning down houses. They've gone sneaking through catacombs. And at last, they have managed to listen to a piece of music called the Music from Beyond. Now, if one of them can be sacrificed on the guillotine, who has heard it, the only people now remaining alive who have heard it being Hugel and the languishing in prison Renault, they will be able to stop Rigaud's spell. However, there is still the question, can they stop Rigaud himself? To do that, they need to plan an assassination. Rigaud is invincible, but supposedly once the spell is cancelled, that is, once Renault's head hits the ground, he will be vulnerable once again. So in the very, very late night on the 4th of June, Paris is dark and quiet. There's a heavy fog about. Renaud, you lie in prison. You think of your family. Melody, Pressy's family are gathering about in Pressy's father's church. We may jump back to them later. Hugel, you have darted forth to visit your home where you would have spoken to Renault's wife. We can jump back and discuss all of that in some more detail, but for now, we will be opening inside a soldier's tavern where Hugel, you were standing before your former comrades, the two soldiers who helped you vanquish Comte Finalizing so long ago, along with the rest of the unit. They are staring back at you as you attempt to explain and implore them for help. For reference, Dupois, the other pre-generated investigator, is also there. He is drunk enough, and he is face down on the ground, completely unconscious.
Good for him.
And with that, whoof, I finally stopped talking. Hugel, what have you told everybody? What was your pitch? How did you approach this meeting?
Okay, so do you remember Count Fenric and the ridiculous stuff that we did 5 years ago?
Sure.
Wait. Bringing in the new character voice.
Lovely.
So there is Dr. Rigaud, Citizen Rigaud, managed to take some of the work that Fenric was doing and is trying to do it himself. And, we kind of sort of need... Well, he needs to be stopped. And, I need some help to do that.
Does this have anything to do with Pressy and Renault?
Have you not heard the news?
No, only rumours so far. Nothing concrete.
Pressy is dead. And Renault is to be executed at the festival in 20 days.
Oh. Oh dear. This is serious then. More serious than... no one really got hurt when it was Fen Lake. Is Rigaud, can we do the same thing then? Find what was it, a statue or something?
No, we cannot. Rigaud does have the same type of magic, but his is not the statue so much as 10,000 skulls down at the catacombs.
Ah, I see.
However, as I understand it, Renault's death means Rigaud's vulnerability. So, the best time to strike him when he's least expecting it would be at the execution. He then becomes mortal and is able to be taken out of the equation.
Right. I think I follow. Babin, it all makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. We're on board. We're across at Hugel. Go ahead. And go ahead with your plan. We're with you.
Rigaud can still be killed.
I do not know for sure, but I believe he can be killed if we do it at the right time. It's a little more complicated than what I am telling you, but also I don't really think it matters. It's just...
Sure. Well,
I
am
don't know.
sure.
If I said magic, would you believe me anyway? Or would you think I was crazy? Because I think I'm crazy at this point.
The king is dead. Monkeys are running France. Nothing is crazy anymore.
monkeys
Okay.
were running France. Babin, this is an improvement. Slow, steady progress. It's all going forward, and there's just a few more loose threads to tie up, and then everything will be smooth sailing.
I like to imagine that there's like a collective groan from all the tables around as your voice slightly rage. I think that the two of you have this argument daily. it's like what you do. Your friendship is
It's not
based
an
on like
argument. It's a debate.
It's
A long
it's
running
a
As the
mutual.
aristos once did, now we the people do. An educated debate around a table filled with mugs. It's very civilized.
I love the idea. It's like no, it's not an argument. It's not a debate. It's a respectful exchange of values.
I then deliver a swift kick to Babin's shins under the table to punctuate.
Babin does not flinch.
All right, fantastic. So you have these two on side, which is good. And I think you have been through a lot together. You are serving alongside a collection of soldiers, but this crew, this core unit, once under the command of Sergeant Renault, has always been very tight knit. So you've shared a few experiences together. You can call yourself comrades in arms. I know that these are relatively new characters for the two of you, Jackson and Dave, but I'd like to just ask you a question or two, just so we get a little bit of a sense of these characters. Can you tell us? Give us a sense of them. Tell us what they look like. Give us a vibe. And could you also let us know how do you think the revolution has been for them? You have the details of their family. You can make a luck check if you would desire to get a sense, but I'm also happy for you to say, oh, it's been good, oh, it's been bad in general. You've been particularly silent, Jackson. Why don't you start?
Yeah. Well, hilariously, I'm just reading over Bubban's character sheet for the second time. He was large, robust, and handsome once upon a time. He was once an extrovert, an enthusiast, an optimistic bon vivant, but he was also a devout monarchist. And I think the end of the monarchy and the beginning of the revolution has broken him. I think he started out as a bon vivant, loving life and wine and women, and now he kind of turns to that as his refuge, wine especially, because things are not so good. Even before the revolution, though, he had a long and storied career as a artillery expert, an engineer, if you will, a sapeur d'infanterie.
Jackson's track record continues.
Yes, indeed. For the second time on the Stream of Chaos, perhaps this European campaign will end with a fumbled artillery roll and the end of the world. Who can say? This was the Berlin campaign, which was a while back, but you can catch up on YouTube. Well, hey. The evidence of his career is, of course, the wooden hand on his left. And he is slightly deaf from his time in the artillery, which means he has a terribly low listen and stealth skill. But yes, no, he's for the most part a broken man. But if someone tells him that he needs to wheel a cannon somewhere and relive the glory days, then he'll do it.
I have two more questions for you.
Shoot.
Who's dear to you?
My adopted boy, Cesar.
Yes. Cesar's been training to be, a doctor. Am I correct?
You are correct. I believe he has. He was training to be a doctor 5 years ago, so I imagine he is a doctor by now.
He has, and is he serving the revolution well? Has he made it out of Paris, and is he trying to escape the chaos? Where is Cesar?
I think he'd still be in Paris, and I don't think he would have inherited Bubban's monarchist tendencies. I think he's probably still trying to do the best he can.
Okay, fantastic. That's good. And my last question for you is, did you ever keep any kind of relationship or ever look in on Sergeant Renault
Sergeant Renault.
after the collapse of the sergeant
Yeah.
from the military?
I would think so, because I think we were on top of the Bastille together.
All right. Okay. So you checked in once or twice, which means that you may have some kind of pre-established relationship. I have the same volley of questions for you, Dave. But beforehand, of course, from one of the tables to the side, Annoyed stands up and clamors some revolutionary slogan to a series of cheers because they just gifted a subscription. So thank you very much, Annoyed. As we move across to Dave.
So Beaumont is a very tall bloke with a long and vaguely shrew-like face. He was always one for rumors and gossip. And in the period before the revolution, he was definitely in favor of just almost like the conspiracy of it all. Very keen to spread pamphlets, sow dissent, and just kind of talk about everything. Now that it's happened, he's steadfast in his belief that this is an improvement. He definitely suffered under the monarchy. My old man, Remy, is a farmer who is basically crippled from his servitude to the monarchy and needing to work such long hours. And since this change, while he still works hard, at least he benefits from some of his work, and he has been uplifted by this. He's kind of seen some of the positives of the revolution.
Okay, well, there you go. So there has at least been some kind of positivity. And did you maintain any kind of relationship? We know who's dear to you, your father, but did you ever check in on Renault?
I think I saw him because we were doing some work, and I would have seen him coming and going. I think I heard I heard a lot of rumors going around about him, doing grave digging work and being a drunk and so on and so forth. And I think I believed most of them. And when I saw him, it was mainly only to get some gossip and see what was going on. I was much closer with Hugel, who kind of stood up and took a lot of the reins from all that.
Okay, fantastic. So it's getting very late, and the collection of you are probably, after some more kind of logistical discussion, are going to crash. Get back to your homes. Hugel, you could sleep like a rock for several days, but unfortunately, you do not have several days. I'm going to correct one minor thing that you said. The current plan is not for Renault to be executed on the Festival of the Supreme Being. There is going to be a lot of executions on the Festival of the Supreme Being, and that will be the day in which Rigaud gets the volume that he needs. With a criminal who gets to be thrown out, they almost would want to sully the guillotine on such an auspicious day with a rogue like Renaud. No, he will be executed tomorrow. So you do not have a ton of time to prepare. You'll be able to get ready and rest, and the execution will probably happen towards the evening.
Cool.
Right.
I'm then just double checking because I vaguely remember from last session, Heron gave the impression that Rigaud would probably be at that execution. But is that not kind of?
No, you are almost certain Rigaud will be there. People will hear that Renaud is going to be executed. Anyone who is listening who wants to figure out who it is, and Rigaud will have his ear to the ground. If he hears Renaud is going to be executed, one of his enemies, he will almost certainly want to be there to watch.
Well, that makes things very easy.
Right.
Oh, also, Beaumont, how's the throat?
Itchy. But fine.
Do you want to explain what happened, Beaumont?
Yeah, I was clawed out by a freaking ghoul.
Absolutely, a couple of scenarios ago. While you were
As an
still,
NPC.
yeah, while you're still an NPC, and therefore, the defenses hadn't quite kicked in. You didn't have plot armor yet.
I also, Thierry got clawed by the same ghoul, so clearly it's some sort of contagious disease of Dave.
And both of them did get first aided back to life by yours truly.
Much appreciated.
So,
Oh god.
you'll be able to. Sorry, please.
Well, do we need a plan of sorts, or is this sort of an improvisational practice?
Are we trying to rescue her now? I don't understand.
No, we're not. So, Rigaud requires a certain number of deaths on the guillotine in order for him to destroy France. I don't think it really matters how. It's just going to happen. Trust me.
If it hasn't happened already.
I don't mean he's going to destroy France politically. I mean he's going to destroy France and possibly more of the world if he has his way. So, you know, less political, more everything.
It's a magic thing, Babin.
Yes.
And I mouth witches at him.
Yeah. So, in order for Rigaud to be vulnerable, Renault, unfortunately, has to die. It is part of the counter magic.
With that heavy phrase kind of hanging over the room, you will be able to make a full plan. You'll be able to sort out the logistics to your meeting and rush to try and get any equipment if you want. But first, we're going to jump to a very, very quick break to sort out some technical issues. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Okay.
Wow, that was fast.
That was quick. Resolved.
We're good. Okay, we return. All right, in which case, yes. So, please continue planning if you would like. You know what assets that you have available, kind of. If you would like to get a cannon, you know, it's possible, but it's going to be a little bit difficult.
So, I had a week to think about how I was possibly going to suggest we do this. And I have a terrible idea.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, the Bastille has cannons, no?
We.
Babin's familiar. He stood next to some.
I do not think it is much of a problem for us to sneak and assassinate Rigaud in the crowd. My concern is that we are noticed either doing so or leaving. Therefore, I think we need a distraction to turn a lot of heads. A cannon firing in the Bastille would quite possibly make a distraction large enough that all of the guards and anyone watching is going to pay far more attention to that than a dead doctor in the street.
I love your line of reasoning, Hugel, and I hate to be
But-
the historical party pooper, but I am sorry to say that the Bastille has been dismantled.
No!
Well,
it
and
was-
wherever
How long
there
would it
is an
take to
equivalent.
rebuild it?
Can we rebuild the
The
Bastille?
rebuilding
You're an
process is
engineer,
currently
right, Babin?
underway. But if you get to the scenario seeds at the back of the Reign of Terror book, you may read that something strange has been plaguing the people that are rebuilding the Bastille, a horrible coldness. So if you want to jump in towards an Ithwaka side campaign, we can talk about that. But in the meantime, that might not be quite what we have time for. So you can find a cannon firing anywhere in Paris.
Great,
would
that'll
turn a lot
do.
of heads.
I was going with the Bastille because that's where new cannons were, but if the Bastille doesn't exist anymore, I don't know, fuck it, find somewhere, shoot a cannon, great.
The cannons have to have gone somewhere.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Please fire a cannon and make everyone run in that direction after or during the point at which we stab Rigaud. Because that's kind of the plan I had, is to sneak up behind him and stab him in the spine.
How do you
with
know
the
you
bayonet.
can't? How do you know you can't stab him? From what you told me, this is not that easy.
He would be vulnerable.
Presley tried to stab him, no? Now look at him.
Presley tried to shoot him.
With a cannon?
With
No,
a
he
musket.
didn't try. He didn't try a cannon.
I don't think we need to try and shoot him with the cannon, because there's a strong chance there will be more than just Rigaud in the aim of that cannon. Also, I was sort of suggesting blanks, but if you want to shoot an actual cannonball, you can if you like.
You bring me a cannon, I work my magic.
I think I might need your assistance in locating a cannon. Baba, you are kind of the best person suited to find and procure such a thing, huh?
I thought you were the provisioner.
I mean, we can work together on this, but I provision food.
It's not so different.
It's the pyramid of needs. Food
and shelter.
then shelter.
Yes, it's just food and shelter, and then the rest of the triangle is cannon.
All cannons.
Oops,
Oh,
all
God.
cannons.
Oh no, right at the very top, just capping it off. Dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, Baba, you are an artilleryman. Can I get you to make either an education or an artillery roll? Because education, this is your profession as such, so I think that you would know where the cannons are.
My artillery is slightly better, but not.
Yeah, no,
by
go wild. Make an artillery check. That is perfectly valid here.
22 points of luck if that gets me a cannon today.
Your 22 points of luck for a
Post-haste.
regular success will not get you a cannon. You won't say, "I've got one parked out back." You will with 22 points of luck, you would know where a cannon is.
Fantastic.
Or I'll give you this: if you would like to push this roll, it occurs to you, you know where one is, but you don't know if it's going to be in good repair. And we'll say that when you fire it, something might go wrong.
So long as there's a big sound and a big boom, I am happy. Preferably no one else dies, of course.
But then if I push it and don't get it, then we have no cannons.
Push it
at
and you
all.
don't get it, you have no cannon, no.
55 is not
Of course,
enough.
you can always try and find another way to get a hold of a cannon. You know, you go and ask Heron, or track down another soldier, or...
I would like to not deal with Heron more than I have to, because if he's going to lose his head, I don't really want the rest of us losing our heads just because we were seen talking to him.
Yeah, Wolf Spirit has realized that I'm trying to just give Jackson the opportunity to fumble a roll with an artillery check again.
I would like a cannon sooner rather than later, and that's worth 22 points of luck to me. So
Okay.
have it.
All right.
We cannot.
Thank you. With
Big spender.
22 points of luck is a pretty significant investment. So you are aware of we'll say that you are aware of two potential leads on cannons. The first is that you would know one of the military supply storage areas that is kept relatively near to the Committee of Public Safety. So this is where a bunch of equipment is. Now that will be guarded. You know, people can't just walk in. You might be able to bluff your way in based on your military credentials. You might be able to sneak inside, but that will be an effort all within itself. Now, having served with the artillery brigade for many, many years, Babin, you are also aware that when the army collapsed during the revolution, there was a period of handover, essentially. A lot of military equipment went missing. There were rifles that were really disseminated throughout the entire population, and so was exotic military equipment. One of your old military commanders, who you worked with for a long time and who did not rejoin the army after the revolution, you are pretty sure, rumor has it, that they managed to get a hold of one of the cannons as a souvenir. Would you believe it? You haven't spoken to this person in many years, but you may be able to chase things up with them. Of course, they may be unwilling to part with said cannon.
Were they a monarchist or a revolutionaire?
Why don't you roll me a luck check?
And
And why don't you tell me which you would prefer, first of all, because it could kind of go either way.
I would prefer a fellow monarchist.
Okay, all right. In which case, roll me a luck check.
Oh!
Glory to the revolution.
If only I hadn't spent all that luck. Oh well. But you said that I had two options.
Yes, the guarded military facility,
Right,
or your
gotcha.
old friend. Now,
Yeah,
a
cool.
guarded, you're not breaking into Fort Knox, and you are soldiers. It is quite possible. It sounds difficult, but I don't want to dissuade you entirely of that possibility.
I think I know someone. Let me start with him.
Okay.
To get a cannon.
Wait.
Baba is good at what he does, Beaumont. You may not always see eye to eye, but he is good at what he does.
Oh, I have nothing but respect for Monsieur Babon.
Citizen, Baba. Thank you very much.
I prefer Monsieur. Thank you.
He likes it.
All right. In which case, the three of you can organize somewhere to meet the next day. I presume you pick a location relatively close to your apartment, Hugel, and three of you can go. You can rest. I want to jump across very quickly to Renaud. How does Renaud spend his nights as he gets thrown back into jail after he caused a scene, he spat on Heron. He would eventually be thrown back in. He's out of liquor now, and the headache is going to be just starting to kick in as he lies in this cell. He's only accompanied this faint, line of pale moonlight that shines in from the cell windows above.
I think the music is getting much worse. It's beginning to rattle around the head like the only thing inside an empty skull. And as the date gets closer, it's that terrible feeling of impending doom, but you also just kind of want it to be over with. So he's focusing all of his attention on the upcoming event, on this will resolve things, and refusing to look beyond the falling of the blade and to what's going to happen to him after. So it's kind of meditative, but just focusing on just the song rattling around.
He thinks of nothing. The blade will fall and then everything will be fine, and damn be to everything else. You've done what you can. Meanwhile, away in Hugel's home, your wife and your children are preparing for an exodus from Paris. They have the papers, everything that you gave them to prove your strength, the books for the girls to learn to read. They want to get out of here as best they can. And in another part of France, hidden away in a basement somewhere, Melody and her children will be with Pressy's father, Jacques, who I think is trying to sort of pull out some food and comfort them and talk. We'll jump back to these families in the meantime, but as the sun rises and the three of you get together on the streets of Paris, which seem to you at this stage, everything is normal. It's so normal. Despite the weirdness of everything around you, this is just life now. Something bizarre happening at every turn. And you're off to meet an old friend. Would you like to make up a name for your friend, Jackson, or would you throw that to me? Because I'm very happy to improvise a French name.
You're muted.
Ooh.
Have it sound very similar to Renaud, Rigaud, and the other one that also sounded like it.
Roger,
no, please French name me up, Jamie.
All right, let's go
Georges.
Georges.
Surname?
Let's go Lefebvre.
Lefebvre. Georges
Right.
Lefebvre.
Okay. So as a revolutionary, Georges hasn't really fallen into complete disrepute. We'll say that they were because there was a huge surplus of arms. This was actually quite a big problem at the time. Where
Revolutionaries probably shouldn't have them.
Yeah, well, I mean, for a huge period of history, there was just this surplus of weaponry. It's similar to what happens in a lot of countries at the end of a war when there's these great surplus amounts of stuff around, particularly because France was mobilizing into a new style of warfare where it was everyone grab your guns. So you are heading to try and find Georges Lefebvre, and we'll say that since he was a revolutionary, he managed to maintain, some aspect of his wealth and status, similar to Pressy. He was able to sort of keep a relatively efficient position within the new French government. And you head over to the western side of Paris, near Hobourg-Saint-Honoré, and you'll be able to find his small house off towards one of the sides, a kind of almost like a townhouse style that opens up onto a small garden. There's a tricolor flag dangling out one of the windows. It's very, very proud and loud and about. What is your plan of approach here? Have you brought money? Have you brought favors? Or are you planning to steal this damn cannon? Well, I presume you're all going. What's the go? What's the plan?
We ask for the cannon. He says no. We convince him otherwise. This is my plan.
How do you know this man, Babin?
We served together in the good old days.
We served together. I don't have a cannon.
He ended up on the looting and pillaging side of the revolutionary.
Ah, those that reclaimed the gilded manners of the nobility.
Yes, he decided he wants something and he took it.
A hero.
Since that is the barbarism that this country has fallen to.
And it is a lovely day. Everything's coming up roses. All right then. So the social approach at first, the skullduggerous approach second.
I just want like an offshoot of just these two.
The
They're
spin-off
the
show.
original odd couple. One's a monarchist, one's a revolutionary.
What do they do next?
This is your side of the apartment. Okay.
And this is the king's side.
All right.
Oh, actually, I did have a question for you, Jim, that I totally forgot to ask off stream.
Please.
Would it be reasonable for me to have asked for and received Renault's saber from the prisons as a like I would like to return this to his family kind of thing?
I think that is a question for Bruno.
Because it would have been taken off him.
It would have absolutely
Yeah.
been taken off, man, because I'm a menace with it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that given the circumstances under which you left you left the Committee of Public Safety were relatively okay. You could have probably asked for effects, but I think that Renault, this is your saber. This is an item that you have treasured from the first moment of the campaign. Was it seized and will it be broken, and fallen away as you are, or would you like a relic of your time to?
No, I think
fade out?
I think Hugo taking it is very apt.
Okay, fantastic. In which case, sure, Hugo, you absolutely have the saber.
Thank you. That plays no part in any of the plan. It's just I needed to remember that I meant to ask you that. Sweet. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
fantastic.
Or maybe
Am
it
I-
will. Who knows? Maybe I'll
Am
threaten
I
this.
good at
Josh.
talking? Oh, I'm actually quite social. A little butterfly.
All right. In which case, you are going to head over to the door, and I assume all three of you are approaching.
Okay.
All right. It's with a short, sharp knock. There's a delay from inside, and eventually you hear like a scraping noise, and somebody comes towards the door. Baba, people lose limbs working in the artillery service. What limb did Georges lose?
Oh,
Head.
You hear a loud thunk from the other side of the door. The cannon is free for the taking.
I'm gonna say a leg. Because
Okay.
if we have to steal it and run, then he won't be able to chase us.
Pretty clever. In which case, scrape, as you hear the sound of this wooden leg coming towards the door, and then door opens, and a sort of very bushy, curly-haired, curly-bearded man opens, dark hair, kind of squints for a second, reflexively says, "We," and then his eyes land on you, Baba, and he goes, Oh, he'll come forward. He'll seize your head in both hands, kiss you on each cheek. The last
That
he
is the
knew of you,
customary greeting.
you were a bon vivant, and he greets you as his old buddy. How have you been? Who are these people? You come visit me. It's been so. Come inside. I will pour the wine. I will come in. Starts introducing you into his home. It's relatively nice. I think he introduces you to his sister, who he lives with, who will introduce herself, and eventually the three of you will find yourself sitting down, able to chat. How are you going to slide in the kind of? By the way,
First of all, I would like him to have as much wine as possible. That I know
Okay.
he's an old drinking buddy.
yep.
Let's start with that. Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
get him nice and toasted.
Did we see the cannon like in the garden as a decorative monument or anything, or is it not seen yet?
So I know where the cannon is, but you did not search. You didn't go and search the back of
It
the
wasn't
house.
just in the front, like on display.
It wasn't
the
like
back
one of
on
those
display. No,
one of those old cars without wheels that someone's just
yeah.
put in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Like,
cinder blocks.
Yeah.
Bad
Cinder block
neighborhood.
cannon.
Lock up your cannons; they'll come for it. Okay.
We have.
And we're gonna get it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna want someone to make me a charm check or a persuade check. I think charm is probably the more appropriate. If any of y'all have that.
I was thinking to fast talk him.
Oh, okay. What's? You tell me the angle that you're taking.
Yes, we are here to talk stories and drink in honor of good old times. Just trying to get him drunk
You're here
first.
for a party. Okay, sure.
Oui.
I think that's fine. In which case, what I'll say, if you succeed this fast talk check, you all will need to make Constitution checks because
yikes.
he is pouring the wine.
Do we have to drink?
I don't. I mean, I think that. If you were selling him a lie that we're here to party, and then you come in and don't, he might be a little put off, which might increase the difficulty of the fast talk check. You don't have to, of course. You can make a sleight of hand check to try and like.
Could I give Babin a bonus dice by assisting him? Because every time his friend George says something vaguely revolutionary, I go, cheers, and raise up a drink and slam it back. And I'm happy to be completely sodden.
Okay, sure. If you are happy to be
shit.
completely sodden,
Yeah.
Well, that's great. You can take a bonus die on your check, on your fast talk check, Babin.
I will.
Okay.
And one for France, and one for Paris, and one for the
Before we jump in,
people.
Hugel, do you intend to not be drinking?
I just looked at my sleight of hand for the first time this entire
good?
campaign. It's 70.
Sleight of hand's the best
Hey.
skill. It is
Alright.
the best
Holy
skill.
Jesus!
So,
I'm
why-
going to attempt to not drink,
Okay,
or at
let's
least,
start-
do that.
Let's start with you. Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh my god, and now I'm going to fail it. Watch me go.
Oh, yep, called it.
Would you like to lock it down, or would you like to
Push
the
it.
roll? Push the roll. Okay. So if you fail this, you might unfortunately offend the man. But let's jump
To chuck it
away
onto a
from that for a
plant.
second. You are committed to this course of action, at least momentarily. So let's get Babin. Make you your fast talk check
With a bonus die.
with a bonus die,
bonus.
exactly.
Huh.
Ah!
Oh,
Looks like an
looks
88,
like an 88.
but it's actually an 18!
Hey!
I don't
okay.
have verbose, I believe. That is a hard...
That is a hard success.
Success.
Yes, actually, it's exactly.
8 off an
that should
extreme,
be-
right?
Oh yeah. No, because your value is 5, right? And 10 is a fifth of.
Hard would be 25, and
Yeah.
extreme would be 10. Yeah,
10.
but I got
10.
it.
So
18.
it's 8 off an
yeah,
extreme.
sorry. Yeah, I got confused as to what the
Math.
10's value
It's
was.
hard.
It is.
What a
All right.
concept.
No, you are throwing this back. He is beginning to sway. He's having a lovely time. Make your pushed roll, Hugel, as you're in the middle of the sort of Oh,
Ooh, that's good.
fantastic. You start ditching the glasses. You do not need to make a check. Meanwhile, Baba, can you make a constitution check? And Boma, can you make a constitution check with a penalty die?
Yeah, I've got this cool trick where I line one up for each of the tricolors, and we do different different
Bleu,
shots.
blanc, rouge. Yeah, I love
I
it.
love the fact that my constitution is actually
Oh, wait,
higher than my
I
sleight
have
of hand.
penalty dice, don't I?
Yes.
Oh!
A
Not a
95,
fumble, by
not a
one.
fumble, but you are well and truly starting to get a little bit sodden at this stage. Now
I'm telling the
you're-
story of Pressy shooting Renault because it's the best one from the Revolutionary period.
Meanwhile, though, you are being completely successful with a hard success on your fast talk. This guy is getting well drunk. You can introduce the idea of the cannon however you'd like.
That's
or
just
you,
what I was thinking.
or if you would like, you can probably actually. It will take time, so it will stop you from being able to make more preparations. You may be under the clock, but if you would like, you can just keep this drinks going until he literally just he's like, I'm done, I'm going to bed. You can crash downstairs and literally just like falls asleep.
Plan B. We'll put
Let's-
that one as Plan B.
Yeah, let's start with just seeing where it is.
Sure.
George, we served together for so long, and you served the army valiantly. You must have taken quite a reward for yourself. You were well deserved of it.
He looks kind of cross, and he says, I should have. I served. We gave so much. You gave your arm. I gave my leg, and then when it collapsed, when everything fell apart, I I had the opportunity to take very much. I could have taken supplies. I could have even taken treasure that was stolen, looted, pillaged. And no, I take this fucking cannon. I take a cannon, and I've done nothing with it. And he starts to like lament this stupid thing that has been the bane of his existence. I thought, proud, I was a memory of my time. Just getting the damn thing here was enough. I had to pull in every favor I had with my friends, and I have not moved it since. It is still out, hidden in the yard, where it was when we placed it down.
Oh, shush. Speaking of such things and hearing of such a cannon reminds me of the old times. May I see it? May I stand alongside one of these guns one last time?
Of course. And he will sort of, gloriously grab another drink and lead you all outside towards this small courtyard at the back of his house. He's right at the edge of Paris, so you can sort of see the areas that are, kind of still grassy or filled with trees under development towards the edge. He has quite a high back wall, and towards one side there's a small shed, which you would expect would be filled with gardening equipment and stuff like that. When you get towards it, he pulls open this wooden door that is eaten by bugs, looks like it might collapse at any point. And there's no gardening equipment inside, which accounts for the state of the yard, which is completely overgrown with grass and bushes and stuff like that. And inside, filling up almost the entire space, is this rusted old, clunky cannon from a couple of years ago that's been sitting here, in dry at least. There's a pile of cannonballs in one corner.
There's no chance at all, is there, that at the base is inscribed Le Grand Fromage?
I think that there is absolutely a 100% chance that at the base is inscribed Le Grand Fromage. Of course, though, one of the words is being crossed out and like a scroll put on it because it was sort of lost and vandalized a little bit. But yes, you are right. The Le Grand Fromage is here.
The Le Grand.
He says, you might not be able to fit in the shed to stand alongside, but you could sit on it.
This would amuse me, but it does break my heart to see it in such a sad state. Do you not think, George, that this beautiful beast should not see the sun and feel the wind once more?
He kind of blinks a few times. You kind of nod. He goes, I suppose. What did you have in mind?
Well, there's a large festival planned. There are many celebrations to be had in the square where the executions take place. I would think of nothing better to celebrate the end of traitors to France than by firing this beautiful cannon. Once more.
It's a good line. It is, make a fast talk check. You can have a bonus die because this man is plastered out of his mind and has a new best friend in Boma.
Mm-hmm. Boma is very drunk, is he not?
Yes.
I'm at the back of the cannon, testing to see if we can push it. Like I'm messing with the wheels and things.
I was going to offer, because I think it's funny, if Boma is having trouble standing up, Hugo will help.
Okay, fantastic. As you
that
kind
seems to be a thing.
I have failed.
Oh no.
You have failed.
10 points of luck?
You can spend 10 points of luck, or you can push this roll.
17.
Oh, 17. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So he considers the idea, but then no, it is too much. Can you imagine? We'd have to deal with the committee. It would be and he almost like, can you imagine trying to get it out of here? It's a whole thing. I hate this cannon now. You could possibly convince him with a luck check or a pushed roll, but as things stand, no. Also, very quickly, I think Beaumont, for reference, you're not kind of falling over drunk. You're at that extremely like energetic drunk where you still want to do everything.
I want to keep going. Yeah, exactly. I'm right at the beginning. This is great.
Pushing a roll gets me with.
You keep the bonus die.
I get to reroll the bonus die as well,
you do.
right? Well, okay.
Chat
let's
says
do
push
it.
it.
I'm gonna do it. And then when we
Alright.
fail this, we club him unconscious. He's already Alright. Oh, George, come now. That's all I got.
Come on, Josh. Ooh.
Now that looks real bad.
I just need a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4.
50-50.
Hey! All right, you pester him into it. Yeah, come on, and eventually he'll say, if you are willing to do all the work, fine, but on one condition, it is fired. And he puts an arm over Boma by a true soldier of the revolution.
I cannot operate a cannon.
He will do it! He will do it, George. He will do it for France and for Paris.
I've done that thing where you make a drunk friend at a bar and we've got plans for next weekend. I'm like grabbing him by the thing. I'm like, I'm going to learn to fire a cannon for you, George, for you. How are you a friend of Babin? We should.
How are you a friend of?
Have you ever been rock climbing?
Oh my god!
We should go kayaking.
Let's go tomorrow morning, really early. All right,
We'll be there.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So fantastic. This, you're able to convince him, and he with some laughs and a few more drinks. If you kind of imply you'll be able to take it and take care of it, he will help you, push it out a little bit. He'll even call down his sister, who is kind of like, actually seems really happy that the cannon is leaving. And he's like, cool, great, yeah,
Get the
that's
shed back.
fantastic. Let's get it out. And you'll after a couple of heaves and hoes, be able to move this thing out into the sort of alleyway behind the house. Obviously, there's some logistics here. How are you going to get it in place? Obviously, there's some logistics here. You'll need some kind of repair check to make sure everything's in good working order. But sitting in front of you is Le Grand Fromage. Its wheels,
Pebble.
balancing precariously on the cobblestones. Georges will bid you farewell. What's the go?
Beaumont, do not touch this cannon again. I will fire it.
I've got the powder and things. I was really looking forward to firing it.
Sorry? But we said to George,
We
Didn't
said
we?
lots of things to George.
are we not
I
going
wish
we had a
kayaking?
No.
So,
Right.
for this cannon, just what exactly is the plan? It gets fired nearby at the point of execution, distracts them, and Ugel and I stab the git.
Correct.
I still think someone tried to stab him and he's still alive. I think this is the killing blow right here.
So we do load the cannon with shot, bait the doctor to the cannon, and explode him.
I feel like a cannon is much easier to dodge than a knife. But if stabbing him does not work, then certainly we can lead him to the cannon as a plan B.
I think
I would just like to not be in front of the cannon at the same time as the doctor.
it does seem difficult. It's a shame we don't have Pressy. He could have shot the man from 7 blocks away.
Silence kind of hangs over as you all think of Pressy having died on the way to the Committee of Public Safety.
What an
That's it.
idiot.
I'm not a bad shot myself. I could be somewhere near. Otherwise, do you think you, Gel, will be able to go in there with weaponry? Say, musket, bayonet?
Are you talking to me or are you talking about me? Because I am
To you.
literally right here.
Yeah, to
Okay,
you.
good.
Do you think we can get in there with a, musketry?
You want to get into the square, the public square with the muskets and or bayonets?
Yes.
I mean,
Your soldiers, you would
Yeah.
imagine it wouldn't be too much trouble. You can sort of be stationed nearby.
Very
I just look to like the uniform, and then to the fact that I currently have a gun.
So,
I think it will be fine. However, on the point of what we're wearing, I'm not sure whether we want to be seen as soldiers or whether we want to be overlooked as nothing.
For myself, I'd like to bring in a musket and a bayonet, which is probably... There are a few disguises that matches with.
I think it would be better to be seen as a soldier if we're wheeling cannons around.
I agree. I just don't plan to be seen at all.
It could be a broom, if I get some straw.
I like the idea that you come in with a musket and look official, Boma. I think that's reasonable. I just... As with all things, the more people we have to take care of a problem, if one of us fails, the better. So, you with musket, I with bayonet in hand, preferably not being seen, Baba with the cannon, either to cause a distraction or literally to cannonball the doctor to death, whatever seems most appropriate. I like this plan. I think it is...
Infallible.
No plan survives contact with the enemy, Boma, you know that.
No enemy survives contact with our plan.
Maybe it's because I have had too much wine, but I still don't quite understand the reasoning. If this doctor cannot be stabbed, how do we know he can be killed?
He cannot be stabbed at the moment because he is protected by 10,000 skulls at the bottom of the catacombs.
And they are still there, no?
Wait,
And how do we get rid of them?
we don't. We get rid of the magic binding him to them.
With the cannon?
The cannon is to cause a distraction so that all of the people who are going to potentially see a member or two of the revolution stabbing another member of the revolution are not going to suddenly turn around and be like, we must arrest you and take you off if we fail.
But how do you know the magic is not stopping him from being stabbed?
I'm going to assume that you're having this conversation as you're trying to move the cannon, because otherwise
we
it's
can
going to get
multitask.
stuck here.
This is on the way.
Where are you taking this? What is your? It is getting into the early afternoon, and you know the execution will probably take place at sunset. You know, just as the evening goes.
I'd like to get it somewhere nearby and
But where we can hide it.
yeah,
Right?
even disguise it. Even find some way of making it hidden nearby.
Okay. So you start to move this towards Place la Guillotine. Then, now getting this thing through the city streets, obviously it's going to raise a few questions. Now, you may be able to explain it away by saying, we're soldiers, basically leave us alone, but that will require a check of some sort. I would like the collection of you to either be able to make just one of you can pick who, makes a credit rating check, an intimidate check, or a persuasion check I could even see. Otherwise, I want stealth checks. And this is literally you taking hours, rolling this thing across streets and sort of standing around. It's going to be a whole endeavor.
There's no way we're sneaking a cannon in.
It's more sneaking it. It's not no one sees you. It's that no one who is going to report you sees you.
I have pretty good persuade. I can try a persuade, and if that doesn't work, we can attempt a snack.
Okay.
Stealthy snack. Does that work for everyone?
Very good.
I've got a pretty good credit rating.
What's your credit rating?
25.
That's pretty good in this day and age.
That's honestly pretty good.
I persuade a 76.
Well, okay, not that it's a competition.
No, I mean, if you want to make a credit rating check and take the guillotine if you fail, all power to you.
Ahead. By all means.
I'll
Talk your way out of it.
That's what I do.
Okay. So a persuasion check is the go. So the collective of you start wheeling this thing pretty publicly down the street. A couple of people, are standing by, sort of whispering and pointing. Towards one side is a citizen called Sojourning Gamer who kind of
Charming day.
points, glares at you. Despite you literally nodding and smiling, wheeling this thing.
Right.
Eventually, some patrolling guards are going to spot you, and they will walk over. And kind of not accusatorily, but we'll ask what are you doing? Where are you taking this old cannon? Can I have your persuade check?
Sure.
And give us the gist of your argument as well.
The gist is just, we are taking this old cannon to the press in the direction of the city in order to, take it somewhere that it can be stored. Because, you know, there are cannons. They need to be accounted for and stored places that aren't the middle of the street, obviously.
Okay.
Please let us go about our business.
All right.
Citizen.
Or we'll
Give
have you
me your
executed.
persuasion check.
Success.
Okay. I'm not part of the cannon brigade or whatever you're part of.
Artillery. Monsieur Artillery.
Yeah, artillery.
Cannon brigade.
And you will continue along. So you'll be able to get relatively close to the Place de la Revolution. And I want a little more specifics here. Are you parking this down an alley and planning to fire this at the sky? Are you trying to hide it somewhere where you could fire a cannonball arcing over the crowd to try and cause a massive distraction?
I think let's put it in an alleyway. If we try the distraction route, we start with firing a blank, and then I immediately load a cannonball. And then, if the doctor is not dead, you bring him down this alleyway, I have a clear shot at him.
And also, then he goes, well, the first one was a blank. So surely there's no risk standing here.
Oui.
Okay. All right. In which case,
Defer to Baba as the artilleryman.
so you're quite near the Place de la Bastille, which is there's all these tight alleyways and you spots between the houses. You're able to kind of wheel this thing down. Now you're gonna have to figure out some kind of way to disguise this thing, and hiding a cannon is hard. So we will need a disguise check, which Shugel is fantastic at. But before you make it, you do not know if the disguise check is going to work. So what I think we should do is you don't make it now. Instead, you're going to make it later on. So you have disguised the cannon, but we will see whether that worked or not later. Meanwhile, it sounds like, Baba, your headache's starting to just kick in now as the booze fades.
Me?
What
Or
is your plan? Baba, you've still got a way to go. What is your plans, respectively?
Well, I spend the rest of the afternoon repairing it, cleaning it, make sure it is in good shape.
All right, but basically you stay here in this sort of hidden spot.
Wait.
Great. In which case, the two of you now, what are you doing, Hugel, and what are you doing, Beaumain?
I suppose we work out you are coming with me up close, or you want to take a shot from a distance?
I think I'm going to try and relieve someone of their post. I reckon I'll walk up, see if anyone would enjoy a half a day, and then I might get right up on the execution point. Seems like as good a spot as any.
Reasonable. I will sneak through the crowd and try and get up behind this man so that I have a good position to stab him as
Very
everything
good.
happens.
Just so I don't shoot the wrong person. Rough description?
You've met the doctor. We all have.
Yeah, we've met a few people, and it was always you, Renault, and Pressy kind of in the bulk of it. Me and Babin
Of
and
course.
Dupois were kind
Of
of
course, yes.
second, we were there, sure, but didn't feel like we
Okay.
were as important. I didn't want to bring it up earlier, but it's nice to be included. This is really be exciting. I know
like,
it's rough times and everything, but it is exciting.
Finally got invited to the cool kids lunch
Yeah.
table.
Poor
like-
Dupois still sleeping one off. He's gonna be
Clap,
furious.
Bummer on the shoulder and be like, I cannot imagine having a better man by my side for this,
Oh.
Bummer.
Too sweet. Go on.
You are a good and true member of the revolution, as am
Oh.
I.
Yes.
While
Very good.
we breathe, we do the things that must be done, not just the things that are easy, huh?
Too true.
Good man. The description that you want of Rigaud is, and I give a vague sort of description of Rigaud, and then go, also, he is pale enough to look like he is dead. Also, he has tattoo, I believe, on the side of his neck, so something that
Those
is
are
kinda like
real
a-
hidden. They're kind of
Oh,
like
okay, so they're not?
like you
Alright.
saw him do that, and you get the peak of these slight
Right.
muscles.
In
I
that
also
case, I'll just
imagine
be like,
he'll leering and licking his lips as Renault's brought up. That'll probably twig, won't it?
quite possibly. I imagine Rigaud is one of those people who's like dressed in like kind of black with like the white sort of cravat and the whole, like, he's very
He would have the tricolor is the big thing.
Oh, okay,
like
yeah,
it's
he can
all
have the
you
tricolor.
have to wear this damn thing. But yes, in general, like the
You say-
spooky kind of clothing, the big coat.
He's not a, you know, what Fen Lake was, is he?
I don't know.
Sounds like he's going down that bus.
Maybe.
Okay, well, best get prepared, in position. When's the execution due? Sometime this afternoon.
Sunset.
Towards the evening, sunset, maybe even later, depending on how, how long.
Mate, you
it
go
takes
to
get
an
through.
event. Depends if we want to see the pre-show.
Yeah, they've got a
Who's
couple of people
opening?
opening. Yeah, opening their veins for
I suggest we get into position and we wait.
All right.
Wait until...
Very good.
So
which-
I am going to change out of my soldier's attire into something that would blend with the crowd a little more.
Sure.
In order to be less noticeable than I would normally be.
That-
Unless being dressed as a soldier is less noticeable, but...
Well, Hugel, unfortunately, you know that Rigaud has spoken to you a lot. Rigaud really knows you and will have an eye out for you. Basically, any disguise you adopt is very likely to be noticed. So it'll be a very hard check. But if you would like to pursue it because of your backstory and because it's been proved as completely difficult to see through, if you would like to dress as Martine, you can erase that immediately.
Wait, I think for this one, because I've suggested it before, I'm like, I can go as a woman, and everyone's like, no. So yeah, I think for this one, also because I think it's a nice point at Martine's story to be like, I've given everything for France, and I think it is now time to be myself and do what it is as me. So yeah, being Martine is...
Fantastic. In which case, you can return home. Do you still have any of your own clothes, or are you taking your sister's clothes?
I suspect I do, for like they would be potentially old and not very well used. Also, at this time, I'm not sure if it's exactly now or around this period, but I understand women were still like allowed to wear pants for certain situations. So for the convenience of whether I wear a skirt or not, I am wearing pants because
Yes,
that is
yes.
helpful.
In fact,
Horse riding shit.
at this time in Paris, it is wearing pants is like a sign of like the kind of the revolution, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, so I still want to appear to be like, revolutionary citizen, but I'm going with,
When you arrive, and you sort of, will get changed, your sister is still there and seems to be getting along pretty well with Marguerite, although they are talking kind of from different rooms out of deference for the illness that she has. You can go and get changed. Your sister doesn't seem too worried. She's kind of, past that point, this kind of grim fatalism. But she does kind of call you and wish you well, in that same way that now every kind of goodbye you have is always laced with, this might be the one. Of course, you will leave the house dressed as a woman, thus revealing to Marguerite, I think
Marguerite has known, because we've established that like she gave me a very warm hug, and I think she knew, like maybe we've never confirmed it, but I feel like she might have known.
Okay.
All along.
Fantastic. In which case, I think that she's not surprised then when you leave. Meanwhile, Beaumont, you are going to be relieving somebody of duty. Now, this will take some kind of check, but it's going to be pretty easy. People are pretty keen to hand off their work. So why don't you give me a persuade or a credit rating is what I would think. I would take a charm as well, and you can do so with a bonus die. No, you hadn't.
I was going to
suggested?
angle for fast talk, yeah.
Oh,
my
yeah,
persuade's
that's
the
fine.
same, but I think that's just my strategy.
Yep.
I'm going to go up and prattle on about what a lovely day it is and how rough it must be to be stuck here at an execution when there's picnics happening all across the city.
Yep.
And then I'll offer to selflessly take his post, given that I too am a fan of the revolution, and etc.
So I'll make
Yep.
a fast talk roll.
And you can do so with a bonus die.
Same thing. Success.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. You find the former friend of Pressy, who was slated. I've forgotten their name, unfortunately.
Giorgio. No, that was the
Jean-Paul?
Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul.
Yeah, Jean-Paul, who is pretty happy to sort of get away from things, and will sort of nod and smile to you. He will turn and leave.
Say, just before you go, what's the
Please.
schedule look like?
It is going to happen at sunset, but the one you must be interested in, because he kind of knows your vague association.
Yeah.
There is rumors of delays, so night may fall before it comes about.
I'll say, is a big crowd expected?
Getting bigger and bigger. Rumors are flying about.
Right. Okay.
Apparently,
well,
a few important figures are coming, so others have decided to join.
well, I best look my best then.
All right. So you will be stationed actually up on the guillotine as all of this occurs.
I don't want to be. Yeah, I'd like to be like, if there's a crowd of people like at the front of the guillotine that do sort of
Yep.
pushing people back and stuff. I know Renault close enough that I don't want to be like right next to him when the frickin' thing falls. Actually.
Yep. So it's a platform in the middle of. You can choose where you would want to be. It's a platform in the middle of a large square. There will be people standing up on the platform watching over the crowd. There'll be people at the stairs leading up to the platform, and then there will be a couple of people sort of roving around who are there to kind of push back the crowd if they surge a bit too much. That said, if you are one of the people who are like down the bottom, it's a grim business. There is the possibility you get blood sprayed all across your back.
I'm actually gonna stop. I think I will go up and I'll try and be closer. And I was like, one of Berman's traits is he's quite loyal. I think it might be good for Renault to have someone near him at least towards the end, who would still consider him some sort of a friend. So I'll plan to be up on the whack-and block.
Okay, lovely. And with that, before we zoom across to the setting of the sun, and as the action begins, I will ask for one more mechanical repair check from you, please.
All right.
Baba.
I got 28 points of luck, and I'm probably going to need all of them. Mechanical repair. Here we go. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh!
Did you say you had 28?
I
Oh
have
no, it's
28.
37.
I need
I thought it was 28.
37.
Ah.
What would pushing this look like?
Pushing this, if you push
your head
this
in it.
and you fail, I'll tell you what. I will get you to. I will commit you to a course of action, which is you are going to fire this. I will say that you will send the roll to me privately, so that the others don't know what happened, because private rolls have gone so spectacularly for you previously, Jackson. And when
The last one killed him.
when this firing happens, there is a chance that something goes wrong.
Otherwise, if I just let this failure stand?
If you let this failure stand, when you fire, you will need a hard success to even get this working.
My goodness.
Otherwise, it's just gonna like damp squib, and you'll get like a, and nothing will happen.
Oh my goodness.
If you push the roll, whether you fail or succeed, there's gonna be a big boom when you fire.
All right. Well, that's what we need.
Push it.
That's what
We
we
need
want.
the big boom.
That's what the crowds come out
So
for.
I'm gonna have to push it privately, apparently.
Push it to me in a direct message.
All right.
Just
Whisper to Keeper.
Take the whole fucking side of this alleyway down. That'll be a distraction.
All right. So I'm gonna roll up mechanical repair again,
Yep.
and then I gotta go stony face.
All right. Here we go.
Here we go. Actually,
Oh,
you know what?
good
I'm not even gonna
God,
look
I
at it.
can't
I'm not even gonna
believe
look
it.
at it.
Wow.
Actually, I'm not even gonna look at it. I haven't seen it.
150.
I'm not gonna look at it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna look at it.
just close your
I haven't
eyes.
seen it yet.
So,
Yeah.
bit by bit, the day is going to ebb away. Those of you who are drinking, your heads slowly begin to ache as the faint numbing effects of the alcohol fades away to be replaced by a kind of sense of general unease. Crowds begin to grow inside the Place la Bastille as the bloodlust of the people becomes more and more apparent. Hugel, or should I call you Martine now?
My surname is still Hugel.
Hugel
I think we can go with Hugel.
Excellent. So Hugel, you are, I don't know if you're feeling a little more like yourself or kind of a bit different as you walking through the streets. And with your weapons hidden away in your garments, you will be able to get into the crowd as the sun slowly begins to set. The mood is becoming more and more somber, macabre. You are thinking on everything that has transpired so far, from your time down into the catacombs where the walls of skulls surround you, to your time chasing after Finalizing in that house of horrors, your time fleeing from Rigaud the last time he had you down in the catacombs. Everything you've been doing has been leading up to this moment. I'd like to know what you're all thinking. Let's start with you, Boomer.
Seeing the growing crowd, I begin to get a little fidgety. I'm constantly scanning to look for Rigaud, but I'm also looking to see just anyone else I recognize, Terry's family, etc. And just watching the numbers get bigger and bigger and realizing that if things don't go right, I need to be able to raise a musket and squeeze off a shot into a crowd of innocents to try and basically, like, I'm only going to see the head. Like, I got to headshot someone in a crowd of innocents, or else this all was for nothing. So I'm beginning to get a little, sweaty palms, very nervous, a lot of energy.
That is absolutely fair enough. What about you, Babin?
What about me? What am I thinking?
Yeah.
This should be a good time. Killing Rigaud, that's kind of cool. That's good. But, I mean, I managed to convince people to let me bring a cannon to this revolutionary shindig. Like, I'm gonna stick it to him. This is great. This is Babin's last hurrah. The last true monarchist in Paris, as far as he's concerned, and he's been allowed to bring a cannon to a crowded area where they're executing, loyal people loyal to the true king. This has gone very well. He's looking forward to going out with a bang.
Fair enough. Absolutely right. Hugel, what about you?
I'm tired. I don't really have a family that is well. My friends are dead, gone. There is horrible music in the back of my head that I know will never leave. And this is the final chance I have to save the revolution that I wanted, not the revolution perhaps that we got. So...
You are weary. You've given everything and it's all come down to this moment. You find yourself almost swaying on your feet. You haven't been drinking, but you are just exhausted, bone weary. Meanwhile, last but not least, as the gates of the cell open, what do you think when they come for you, Renaud?
I think that this is our last chance and we have to make it count. I'm going over a few short words I plan to say before the blade falls, and then I'm intending to scan the crowd as quickly as I can to get one last look at my family.
Fantastic. You'll be taken, walked through the Committee of Public Safety. You don't see Haron or anyone you recognize. You were a soldier your entire life, but the people who fill the halls now are foreign to you. They serve a cause that you didn't identify with. They are enemy combatants as far as you're concerned, and they have taken over the city that you fought so hard to protect. You're loaded up into a cart, and I will remind you all of the section I read at the very first scenario of this game. It is June 1794, as a two-wheeled cart with high wooden sides rumbles down the streets of Paris. I won't read it all through again, but the cart rolls through streets lined with crowds. They begin to jeer, they begin to yell. It takes a while for the cart to navigate through the tight streets as they toss things and hurl insults. The sun sets and dusk comes over the square, but still the people gather, holding their breath. The cart wheels about, and we see in the crowd the characters that we have come to know and we come to understand. There is a dog racing through. There is an old man who we now know as Jacques, a priest, who is gathered there watching the cart, knowing that if it wasn't Renault, it would have been Pressy inside. There is a young woman standing with close-cropped blonde hair by the road, her face heavy with grief. Of course, we now know this woman to be Melody, already having changed her hair to try and hide her true identity. Your families spread about. Babin, Beaumain, your families too, gathered around to watch Renault go to his death. Eventually, the cart will roll into the square, and here we will see in the crowd, Hugel, you were there, standing up on the platform. Beaumain, you were there. Down an alley, the cart passes in front of you just for a moment, Babin, while you were hidden away in the shadows. The cart arrives, it opens up. The guillotine stands tall, its blade glimmering in the now rising moon, as Renault is taken out in chains and will be walked up the stairs as the crowd slowly grows silent and taken towards the side. Arm is put on your shoulder, Renault, and as you gaze over the crowd, your eyes frantically scanning, you have a moment to say a few words.
So as Renault steps up, he's very small, hunched over. He was always not a particularly tall man, but he stood with his back straight and confidently. And it takes him a moment to remember himself. But he looks out over all the people before him. He straightens up and he speaks. It's a very gravelly, hoarse voice that takes some time to get going. And even when it's at its loudest, only the people on the stand and the few people in the very front rows will have any chance of hearing it. It's more for him than anyone else. And he goes, "Better people than Thierry Renault have died here. They deserve to rest and to be with God. God bless Paris. God bless her people." And then he thinks of the aristocracy, and he pictures King Louis and the regents, but they aren't in the Tuileries or any of the French palaces. He is on a throne amongst the stars, and he is courted to by piping madmen and a constant, unending song. And as he finishes and is sort of shouldered down to the guillotine, he says, "And God bless the king." And that will be the last thing he ever says.
As the last word comes out, the lunette of the guillotine is slammed shut on Renault's neck, locking it in place. No more words will escape. The crowd that did hear, their breath is caught in their throats as everybody begins to lean forward, hearing, listening. In the crowd, some of you, Hugel, Beaumain, you will spy a tall man standing, his eyes leering, leaning forward. He's not licking his lips, but Rigaud is definitely there and is definitely very, very keen to watch. Renault, you gaze out to the crowd, your eyes scanning, and of course, you will be able to catch a last glimpse of your family about midway through the crowd. They don't have enough to get close at this stage, but they are watching, and you can connect eyes with Marguerite and with your two daughters one last time, as you can see the executioner come forward and stand by. Beaumain, I don't think Renault even notices you, or do you think he does?
Nah, I don't think he does. He's completely focused. So much, 90% of any brain power is in this flippin' song, just going in circles. He has no idea.
And with that, the lever will be pulled, the blade will begin to fall. Your wife and your oldest daughter, Lucy, will close their eyes and look away at the very last second, but Olivier keeps watching and meets your eyes as at last the blade slams shut. And with a heavy thunk, Renault's head spins around and lands upright in the middle of the small patch of ground in front of the crowd. And for about 3 seconds, Renault, while your head is still alive, you see before you not a crowd of people, but the twisting, indescribable court of Azathoth, the throne amongst the stars. You can have one last thing to say if you should wish, otherwise your mouth will bend open and the sound will emerge of the call from beyond. The light will fade from your eyes, and you will be serving Louis the King and the gods in the twilight for the rest of eternity. Is it so?
Let it be so.
And with that, Azathoth hears the sound, and a horrific scream comes out from Rigaud as he grabs at himself and starts to twist and twitch. Under his skin, what you can't see is every single skull imprinted is now exploding off him. It is agonizingly painful, although not causing any real damage. He twists and howls as everybody leaps into action, just as at the side. I want Hugel to make a disguise check to see if the cannon has been discovered or not.
Oh no!
The guards have spotted you. At the last second, as you go ready, you hear a howl. They turn for you. They are running for you. You have two choices. You can try and fight these people off, or you can accept essentially that you'll be captured or hurt and just fire the damn cannon.
Well, I've got the blank loaded at first.
Yep.
Let's start with that. Let's fire it.
Okay, make an artillery check.
And it sure is a good thing I got that hard success on the mechanical repair.
Oh, thank God. That would have been real bad.
That would have been amazing.
All right, one artillery roll coming up. Very good. The lucky 13 points of luck. Coming
With
your
13
way.
points of luck, there is
I
a
think
massive...
you're still sending to GM.
I think it's still,
Oh,
I think
I
that was a
sure
whisper.
am.
Oh,
Yeah.
You'll have to
perfect. In
trust
which case,
me.
Yep. There is an explosion as suddenly the entire crowd flinch. First there is screaming, then there is the unmistakable boom of a cannon that echoes out. The soldiers running for you fall backwards for a second, grabbing at their ears. Meanwhile, what are the rest of you doing? You can hear chaos immediately. No sound from Renault's family. I think Hugel, what's your plan?
My plan was to be as close to Rigaud as possible while all of this happened, and then as soon as the cannon goes off and as soon as the blade falls, to have taken my bayonet, which I'm using as a knife, not as a bayonet, and ram that thing between his ribs.
Make a stealth check to see how close you got.
Very good.
Unfortunately, it was a little bit far away. You can push the roll if you would like, but if you fail, Rigaud will have spotted you at the very last second.
home
and will have a
stretch.
chance to riposte.
That's 17 points of luck if you got him.
Now let's push it. I like
hell
this. This is
yeah.
getting into ridiculous territory, and I fucking love it.
All right,
Okay,
in which case
okay.
you have gotten close enough to be able to lunge forward, and as Rigaud begins to twist and writhe and scream out in agony, make your fighting brawl check.
Huzzah.
All right, the blade swings
Hold, please.
forward.
Hold, please.
Yes, I'm holding.
Hold, please. Would you like 30 points of luck to make that an extreme success?
You can absolutely do
Great.
that if you should.
Have 30 points of luck to make that an extreme
Oh
success.
my
Because
goodness.
I have been holding on to my 60-something points of luck for this fucking reason.
This exact moment. And with that, as Rigaud is twisting and writhing, a blade sinks into his back. His hands fly up in front of him. What is your total damage?
Total damage for... Because this is considered like a large knife, yeah?
Yes,
Which would do impaling?
absolutely. This
I
will
reckon.
impale.
So, the large knife, I think we said, is 1d8 normally. So that's 8, and then I roll another d8, is that right? For
Yes,
impaling?
plus your damage bonus.
I don't have one. I don't think.
Okay.
Oh, rude.
Still.
9.
Nine damage. The blade sinks into Rigaud, and he screams. A gout of blood shoots from his mouth as the moon shines high above. If only I had a great piece of art to show you in this exact circumstances. Well, I do. Bam! Take a look at that as the guillotine has fallen. The limp body of Renault hangs to one side, and chaos throws about in the street. You see Rigaud twitch his head now up as everyone else is ducking from the side of the cannon. Beaumont, what would you like to do? Oh,
Can I
Renaud-
say
sorry,
something
Hugo,
to
yes.
him, like, as I stab him?
Absolutely.
I'd like to, as I stab him and lean forward in a voice he should know, say, "We had to face the music, now you must too."
Oh, excellent. I love it. You twit and you can see you out of the corner of his eyes, and you see, this man is mad, but every emotion flying through that single gaze and the fractured colors of his iris. Panic, rage, fear, disgust, everything. Beaumont, your plan.
So, has the explosion scattered the crowd a little bit? Like, do I have an eyeball on him?
Yeah, they are all like ducked down like this, but Rigaud is like pointed up because he's got something rammed into
Hell
his
yeah.
back. So yes, you have a bit of space.
I raise the musket and level it at him. I say, "Oh, there you are, witch," and then I shoot him.
Fantastic.
Do I get a bonus or penalty or anything? What's the go here, Jim?
No bonus, no penalty. Give me that
Straight roll,
straight roll.
baby. Get it? 14
Oh my
damage.
god!
You clear.
Don't even need to push.
You clear the crowd, Hugel, as you stab in to his back and you lift him up, and he howls in pain. His eye flickers towards you, and then with the third extreme perfect neck shot of this campaign, a bullet slams into his throat, to his blood splatters across that open eye, and you see all that rage, all that fury leave in a single round before anyone can react, and before he can even comprehend it. He's dead. And Rigaud slides off your blade and lands forward, face down in the middle of the crowd as the screaming begins and everything falls into utter chaos.
We are good at chaos.
God, we're good at
Goodness.
chaos.
I have to
would
point
like.
out, you didn't even need that extreme because you rolled max damage anyway
Did I
on your
really?
regular damage
Oh, sorry, I
dice.
did.
Yeah.
So you did 20. Oh my god.
Get that
I
up, yeah.
need from everybody now a stealth check or a hard dexterity check. This is you running. This is you making clear and trying to get out of the situation you find yourself in. If you have an alternate argument, make it. But it's not looking good for some of you, particularly those of you standing for bloodstained knife over a body. That said, no one might be able to identify who you were. You were just a random woman in the crowd. And those of you near a cannon while all this chaos takes place. Beaumont, you might have a slightly better chance. In fact, I'm not going to say it's a hard dex check for you if you would like to just kind of
I was
bolt.
also. I want to hoist my musket and start like yelling, for Paris, for France, and try and get the crowd to just go ballistic. I want to kind of just rally people and be a pain. I want to be involved with this basically. I want to stay and see
Fantastic.
things out.
Please, I think, I mean, yeah, you know what would be perfect? A sing check.
Sing. Yeah. I think we'll have to settle for persuade. If
Let's
that
go
suits.
with it.
Murder.
So, make your
well,
checks,
almost-
everybody.
Almost rolled Thierry's skills.
Well, I feel like
Oh, no, wrong one. Ignore that.
Maybe
Actually-
maybe the alley we put the cannon in wasn't like would have been a dead end
It's the
to,
same.
to distract to not like let too many people get down there. You know, if it was an alley that people would walk through, they're more likely to spot the cannon. I think we would have put it down a dead end.
Okay.
So I don't know if Baban has anywhere to run.
All right.
Oh,
nice.
hell
Which
yes.
is just how he likes it.
Oh, fantastic. So what is your proposal here? Are you going to turn and fight?
I'm gonna finish loading the cannon.
All right.
As I was intending to.
Make another artillery check then.
To load it?
Yes.
Very good.
It's better about to just start firing into the crowd.
I don't have 21 points of luck left.
Okay. Would you
could
like
push
to
it.
push the roll? If you fail, they get to you.
Right
the
where
cannon
you
doesn't
want them.
explode if he fails.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna go for it.
All right. Make that check. We're going to jump back to you in a second because first of all, Hugel, you made that persuade check. Is that the same as your stealth skill? Were you saying?
It's I'm 76 on both,
in
so
which,
if that's all right.
That's fine. In
Do
which
I
case you can start weaving
would
and
a
diving
hard
through.
make it easier? Because that's 2 points of luck for me.
That is fine. At this point, you were in the crowd. You had already disguised. You are vanishing. As you begin to yell, Beaumont, it occurs to you. Your moment in the sun might be done as the grayness of an NPC creeps back over your face. No one is
Hang on.
listening. I've still got more to
No,
say.
look at me!
Unfortunately, no one is listening at this stage. But fortunately, the chaos and the confusion means.
I was imagining if I just shot someone, like I imagine I get
Yeah.
swarmed and like jumped right by
Yeah,
guards.
that there are
and it's like
guards rushing for you, but the people are not doing anything.
Yeah, I think I try to like go down going like, for France.
Yeah.
When I get just grabbed and dragged backwards. I'm resisting and I will, try and but I think I'm dragged away.
Excellent. You are dragged away, Hugel, you vanish, and Babin, with the cannon loaded one more time. What is your plan here? Are you trying to shoot those two
Wait for
officers?
all
Or are
the
you trying to
officers.
get a final shot at something?
I'm
Perhaps
gonna
Sorry.
push it. I'm gonna push it toward the end of the alley, toward
Yep.
the crowd, and keep an eye out for the highest ranking Commissioner Public Safety officer I can see.
Okay, you spin around. The guards now have their guns pointed at you and are yelling stop, but I get the feeling you are committed here. You are scanning around.
Still
now,
a chance for a fumble.
Absolutely, as you
Well,
spin
actually,
the cannon.
my
Yep.
primary concern actually would be to spot Rigaud and see how dead he is,
You-
because I suspect he is not very. Even after seeing him get stabbed and seeing his throat get shot, I'm still concerned that that wasn't enough.
Hugel is vanished and Beaumont is pounced upon. As the crowd parts when they see your cannon, they literally like scatter like the sea. The only person who doesn't scatter is a corpse lying in the middle with blood pouring out from it. With a final sense of certainty, you will understand that no, Rigaud is dead. The final thing as this burden falls upon all of you, I'm going to ask you all to make a sanity check.
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
How Bubba? All in a day's work.
All right. Beaumont, for France, it's fine. You got a great shot. You are okay to lose a single point. Babin, you are going to lose a You're going to lose a D4. Hugel, you went through so much with Renault. This is one of your close friends. You finally got Rigaud. This is a catharsis, so you will be regaining sanity because this is functionally the end of the scenario. But as you sprint through the crowd, just the emotional wall you've put up for so long breaks. I would
Yep.
like you to roll a D8.
Very good. I do not think, even if I max it, I will have lost enough to be indefinitely insane. But
You might go have a temporary
I might go
burst.
temporarily.
Might be
insane,
about, but still, that's
That's good.
yeah, that is.
No.
No. When the
Worst
wall
things have happened.
breaks and
I
as
think,
you...
I
Please.
think there is overwhelm. Martine is herself for the first time, and I think as she runs through the crowd, she finds somewhere to sort of get out of the way and curl up, and just sobs, just everything. Much like I did after last session when I realized this was ending, just cathartically sobbing, going,
Big rip.
"It's over, it's done, it's done, it's over, it's done."
It's finally over and Martine is free. She lies there in the crowd. Baba, the thought occurs to you. There's still a chance to run. But maybe you don't want to. He is dead. Rigaud is dead. But the horror in front of you, you can see the body of your friend, of one of the only other monarchists
My
in all of Paris.
sergeant.
And it occurs to you, the highest ranking member of the revolutionary government is, of course, the Lady Guillotine herself. Would you care to fire upon it?
At once.
All right.
With haste.
Make me an artillery check and let's
There's
see
only
just
one number
how...
I want to see.
I mean, I want. I'm
100.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Give me what I want.
Not
it's still
today.
pretty good.
The guillotine shatters apart. The cursed blade is rent, exploding into asunder. The whole platform starts to collapse as bodies fall, and you can hear the of Beaumont as he kind of rolls down with all of these soldiers. The crowd is scattering. You chose to fire. Can I get you to make a constitution check, Babin, as you feel 2 white-hot pinpricks slap into your back?
Oh,
What?
Excuse me?
Pinpricks.
what?
The
like
two
I just got
soldiers.
shot.
The 2 soldiers were standing with rifles saying, "Don't you get away, get away."
Oh, that's fair.
Make a constitution check.
Is that a major wound? Or am I unconscious?
Or are you dead?
Slam down and you kind of hold on to the cannon. And you look forward.
Grand fromage.
And you will slide off sideways. And for a second, we will fade to black, leaving things be. Give a final salute. Excellent.
Towards Sergeant Renault.
Son
Perfect.
of a bitch, you did it.
I would like you. So as we jump forward, time is passing. Hugel, I don't want any more checks out of you. Not for the moment. Instead, I would like you, Beaumont, to make for me a persuade check. And I would like you, Babin, to roll 2d10 for me.
No, I shot
Interesting.
a monarchist.
You got 5 points of luck, my mate.
I refuse.
In which case, how much health do you have, Babin?
Wow, what an odd question to ask after I just rolled 2d10. I have 13 hit points, which is 1 less than 14, which is what I rolled.
In which case,
Curious.
I think that in true Call of Cthulhu fashion, Babin, you will stand by and you have achieved it. You see it fall. You have no family. You have Georges' cannon, which you took to turn against the revolution. But this is what you wanted. You truly ended your life as a bon vivant, lived doing exactly what you wanted. You collapsed down to the ground and stared up. You finally felt at peace. Meanwhile, Beaumont, a desperate persuade battle. The mechanics here are I require a hard success. Otherwise, as the book declares, the likeliest outcome is that the investigator follows their colleague to the guillotine the next day.
Jesus Christ.
A monarchist, you say? A monarchist? Well, no, you are the monarchist, in which case, with one more, 2 of David's characters will now be
Speedrun.
claimed. Of course, they do have to use a different guillotine. Hugel, meanwhile, you survive. You and Dupois, now the only ones left of the
Dupois.
original group.
Proving if you don't play,
forgot
you
him.
can't lose.
The only way to win.
Over the next coming days, things in Paris change. On the 20th of Parial, that is June, the streets of Paris are filled with thousands upon thousands of flowers for a festival of the Supreme Being, the new state religion. This is the final straw for most of the established members of the National Committee. Robespierre will be executed shortly after, as will many other orchestrators of the terror. France will return in a few short years to being a monarchy, or at least something close to it, as the country falls back into the chaos of a new century, and as the reign of terror is brought to an end. Hugel, you gain a D10 of sanity for killing Rigaud. And that effectively is the end of the Reign of Terror campaign.
Bubba.
May I give Hugel a nice ending?
Absolutely, we will do epilogues for all involved.
Oh, awesome, cool.
Let's
I think
start
that
with
might be short.
let's start with Pressy's family. Actually,
Oh.
The final picture that I had was of the baptism of Pressy's youngest son by Jacques.
Of course.
Do you think that suits, or do you have something else in mind?
Yeah, I think I don't know if the Plessis will stay in Paris. I think they'll have to escape to some idyllic countryside where there is still God-fearing people.
They do have, they were established nobility, which means they genuinely might be able to, run the barricade of France and make it into Austria or make it into part of Europe where they will be able to, live with distant cousins or some such. The years will go by and perhaps there will be another singing revolutionary born of one of Pressy's children. But I think that Melody's story is probably only beginning because, that's the topic of a romantic novel if I ever heard one. The dead revolutionary fleeing to try and capture your roots again. Do you have any last details you want to add, Jackson?
Just the fact that Pressy was my first Call of Cthulhu character to die, and then I got another one killed in the very next session.
Fantastic.
How delightful.
Efficient.
Drive it like you stole it.
Dave, what about Renault's family?
So I imagine they have very little to tie them to Paris now. I expect they go to somewhere else. They find a smaller, more rural village where they can be A, safe, and B, I think they find it is more to their liking anyway. So much of Renault's time was spent currying favor and currency and stuff so they could have this little like small house, like a tiny garden out the back. And then I think, the epilogue would be them going to some rural village and finding, a small plot of land or something filled with flowers and so much more pleasant than the urban streets of Paris filled with revolution. And they settled there and hopefully are okay for the most part.
Well, you did everything you could for them. The girls have books to teach them to read. I think that you've done what you can and they should be all right. Renault drifts upon the course of amongst the court of Azathoth. Is there, a gradual peace, or does his mind? What does he see? Is he in the court of? Is it kind of a heaven for him? Is he in the court of Louis?
God no. No, he is completely mad at first when he goes there, and that's just how he perceives it because it's the only way he can rationalize this thing. But it's not a king, it's not a god that he goes to bow before. It's something completely alien and abhorrent. No, he is tortured for eternity, and the piping songs become madness, and maybe this will be what finally sunders any love for kings and rulers from his head. No, he will suffer there, and he will never die or leave.
And such is the true essence of cosmic horror. Thank you, Renault. Is there anything else you want to add, David? Any final details?
Nah.
So be it. It ends. Hugel, the only surviving original character. What happens to you? What happens to your sister?
So I think Hugel and Martine and Therese will perhaps, if it is okay with Dave, follow the Renault's family, simply because offering to go to Brittany as an option.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I would like to think that Marguerite and Martine stay in touch, because they had that relationship. They return to Brittany, to Joseph, her husband, to try and give Therese fresh air and a comfortable place to exist and eventually die of tuberculosis. I think Martine eventually has her own family. 2 boys called Christophe and Thierry.
Absolutely lovely. What a great epilogue. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Art?
No.
All
I
right.
am happy.
And with that, thank you so much. That is the end of Reign of Terror and the end of this chapter of the stream. But don't worry, we have all kinds of exciting things happening in the future. But first of all, a huge thank you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Jackson. And with that...
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jimmy.
thank you very much. Remember, Reign of Terror, you can get it on Roll20. You can get it from Chaosium.com. It's a fantastic campaign for those interested in the French Revolution setting. And with that, I'm going to throw across to Dave to talk about what's coming next.
Boy, howdy. Yeah, woof. Sorry, catching up to speed. We are going to be jumping into another a grand campaign soon. But while we gear up for that, we're probably going to be starting in maybe next month or so. We're going to be running a 2-shot or so first, which is we're going to be running Saturnine Chalice, which is one of the scenarios from Deadlight and other scenarios on the road. And then following that, James might be jumping into Alone Against the Dark, which is a solo scenario. But
Frost.
all of this is, hey, there's the one, Alone Against the Frost. Sorry, you've already run Alone Against the Dark. So stay tuned. We'll be back next week, same time, same everything, and
Are you
on
bringing
the
back
ball
Isabella?
rolls.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, but
Bringing back Isabella for Alone Against the Frost?
That
Ooh,
could
that'd
be
actually
cool.
be really good, yeah.
It would be fun. I will say I am super excited about the upcoming campaign that we're going to be
Yes.
jumping into. It's really, really cool, and I can't wait to play in it. It's gonna be great.
It will be very exciting. But yeah, so we'll be back next week, continuing on.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Godspeed.